in our eyes. Some are starting to raise their voices here against what's happening in Tier 4D, especially concerning the deportation of the natives. If we all thought the natives were savages and beasts, we'd have fewer scruples about dealing with them, wouldn't we?
That's exactly what they are!
That's
Animals.
enough, ma'am! How dare you!
We will study this report carefully. And if it proves to be true, you'll be the one to answer for it.
Master, do you have any further evidence to submit?
No, we have nothing further to present to the court.
We have nothing more to add.
The defense has presented all of its evidence, and will now defer to the council's judgment.
In that case, we will now take leave to deliberate.
Can't I plead my case?
If you were hoping to make a case for your ideas, you should know that's not how things work around here. The witnesses and the evidence are presented, and anyone can examine and refute them, but the final decision is the council's. We'll return once a unanimous decision has been made. The council has come to a decision, and I'll let Admiral Cabral announce the verdict.
Given the evidence that was presented, we have come to the conclusion that the defendants are innocent.
This is a travesty!
Silence. We don't have enough evidence to prove your responsibility in this tragic affair. However, we shall keep a close eye on you from now on, so you'll have a Nort escort with you at all times. I advise you to finish your business here quickly and return to Tynea as soon as possible. And don't even think about troubling our exonerated guests again.
The council has ruled, and the court is adjourned.
You're free, and may do as you please until you're ready to board your ship, Captain. Despite the trial, I've had the shipyard working on it, and it'll be ready to sail with the tide tomorrow.
Captain, I know what you think of me, what everyone thinks of me. But could I have a word with you?
What is it?
I hear you're looking for your mother's logbook. I know where it is.
Is that so? How could you possibly know that?
I'll tell you when the time comes, but not here. Meet me at the tavern when you're done.
I don't trust you, Silvio, but I'll come. It would be wrong not to hear you out at least once.
My daughter's strange companions. I suppose I owe you an apology. If I hadn't been involved with that emissary, you wouldn't have had to prove your innocence in this mess. Take time to rest and celebrate the end of this sordid affair. Now, unless you have any questions.
How do you see the knots? Do you see them as sailors only? As merchants?
Just a few centuries ago, there were only a handful of ragged fishermen on this rock, who starved when the sea was rough. But those who came before me used the inhabitants' gift for navigation to transform it into the base of a prosperous guild. Most foreigners see us as simple sailors, but we're far more than that. We're ship owners. We design and build our own vessels. We're also explorers who open new routes on the seas and discover unknown lands. And finally, we offer our transport services to the different nations and are paid handsomely for them, which allows us to go even further with better ships. I know you must resent some of the services we provide, but we're not responsible for what our customers put into our holds.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Well done. You've managed to get out of this scrape brilliantly. I hold this emissary and her vision of the world in the highest contempt. I'm glad you were able to put her in her place.
Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for getting me out of there. I'm sorry that even here, you've once again been victim to the Alliance's evil schemes. But I'll get you home. I swore I would do it, and I shall. Tomorrow, we'll have a ship. And even if I can't take you to Tier 4D straight away, it's a first step.
Why do we not leave now? You say you want to take us home, but in the next breath, you tell us we have to wait.
Because this kind of expedition is incredibly expensive. Sailing to Tier 4D takes months and costs a fortune. You're going to need a protector. A patron. But don't look at me. I don't have a coin to my name. My family does, though.
I know someone who wants to go home, too.
Not in the least. I'm very happy to be here with you. You're far less dangerous than my uncle.
We can choose our destination once we're aboard the ship. In the meantime, we can take a break at the tavern or go for a walk. Anything you like. As long as there are no bars on the windows.
Wait. I'm sorry. I overheard your conversation. I'd like to accompany you. Even if I have to wait, I'd like to go to Tier 4D with you.
There are enough of your people on our island already.
And you can surely find another ship. The Alliance regularly funds crossings to Hikmet.
That's true. I could probably find backing for a map-making mission, but I'd have to make compromises I'm not willing to make with people I despise. Please, let me prove that not all of my people are manipulators and forces of destruction.
She did warn us and helped us with the framing, and having an ally in the Alliance could be useful.
The best I can do is to offer to let you come aboard my ship. Whether or not you can be a part of our group is a decision that's for the others to make. So, thank you for coming. Silvio was just going to tell me where he thinks I might find my mother's logbook.
Tomorrow, you'll be given a ship. Your mother's ship, to be precise.
But I thought it was lost in the storm.
Lost? No. But it did suffer tremendous damage. It's been recovered and repaired. As you know, I was the shipwright working on her ship. Before her accident, your mother asked me to build her a cache. A cache in her cabin. just big enough to hold a logbook. If her logbook still exists, it must be there.
Why did you come to find Alvida now? Why didn't you tell her about this earlier?
The trial undoubtedly roused his remorse.
It has nothing to do with the trial. Even if I would have liked to have had a louder voice to help save you from this masquerade. If I've come now, it's because you are going to take possession of the Constancia. You, on your mother's ship. It's too good an opportunity to miss. For I know that the captain's logbook will prove my innocence.
What do you know of Alvida's mother's fate?
Unfortunately, everyone knows what happened and who is responsible.
I have always worked my hardest on all the ships I was assigned to, and I would never have let your mother, for whom I had great respect, go to sea on a dangerous ship. I don't know what happened. There weren't many survivors, and I never had the chance to talk to them. According to the official report, the weakened ship was unable to weather the storm, and for that reason it ran aground not far from the island, resulting in the death of the captain and some of her crew. But I know that's impossible.
Didn't you lose your position because of what happened to the Constantia?
Indeed. Admiral Barcelos found me guilty of what had happened to the captain. I think he even suspects me of having done it on purpose. But since there was no real evidence against me, they just banned me from working on ships.
Thank you for answering our questions.
I still don't trust you, Silvio. But I'll check the cabin on the Constantia once we're on board.
I sincerely hope that the logbook is still there. Because then everyone will see that I was falsely accused. I'll go back to my workshop now. Thank you for listening.
Hey, sailor. Do you need anything?
You must be very proud to have been named captain.
Oh, of course. And I'm all the more proud that I got my new rank as a result of an achievement. That's not always the case, you know. Sometimes the only thing that counts is your length of service. But this rank offers me such an opportunity. I'll finally be able to make my voice heard on things that are important to me. Maybe I'll be able to convince the guild to stop its involvement in human trafficking. In any case, I'll do everything in my power to make that happen.
I won't bother you any longer.
Don't worry. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Be quiet. We don't want to be overheard. We'll have to be careful. We're not supposed to be here.
Look, Wiedengar. The ground is sunken there. Someone must have buried something. We need something we can dig with. Look, Wiedengar. The ground is sunken there. Someone must have buried something. We need something we can dig with. Look, Fridengar. The ground is sunken there. Someone must have buried something. We need something we can dig with.
Alvida left for the port at dawn. She was excited to see her ship at last. Are we going to meet her?
There you are. I'm happy to see you out of that courtroom and cleared of those ridiculous accusations. Captain Alvida has already returned to her ship and is busy preparing for your journey. When you're ready, just say the word and we'll take you aboard too.
We're ready.
In that case, climb into this boat and it will take you aboard. Godspeed.
Well, what do you think of my ship? It's quite the change from that old skiff. This one even has a cabin.
Yes, it is a fine vessel. But when will you take us back?
As soon as I can pay the crew and stock the old with food for the trip.
My family would certainly be able to finance the journey, especially since it would be an opportunity for them to compete with the Dorsays. They're a rival family who rule over the cities of Serene and New Serene. Come to think of it, they too could finance our trip, I suppose. They certainly have the means.
That would entail going to Peren, wouldn't it? I wouldn't mind going there too. There's someone there I need to see.
Really? Someone from Thélème, I presume?
Yes, a man of the cloth who might be able to help me get home. A certain Father Cardinal Pius.
I've heard of him. A charming old man who lives like a monk, I believe.
Yes, he's a priest and the Thélème ambassador. He can help me get home, but his influence could also be useful in getting your expedition financed.
Yes, I've heard of him. Well, having the backing of influential people is rarely a bad thing. My family is going to be thrilled when they hear about my exploits in Alima.
As for me, I'd like to go back to Iskiara. We left behind a giant, rampaging creature, and I hate to think what might happen to the locals and my companions. We can't just leave this beast to wander around. We have to find out what happened after our timely getaway. And since it's not possible to dock in Dooten, this will bring me as close as possible.
That's a lot of destinations to choose from. We'll have to choose just one. So, where are we headed?
You'd be better off talking to a captain. I'm just a sailor.
Are you lost?
I'm glad you came to see me. I'm going to need your help. It's a personal matter.
What does it entail?
As you may remember, Silvio told me about a cache on the Constantia. Despite everything that's happened to that ship since sinking, it wasn't discovered. I found my mother's logbook in there, but she had so little trust that she wrote in code. And I don't understand any of it. I need to know what information it holds. It may give me some insight into what happened to her. You understand?
Of course. But what do you expect from me?
I need you to find someone who can translate the logbook.
We're too busy at the moment. We'll have to see later. Are you happy to have become the captain of the Constantia? That boat must mean a lot to you.
I'm happy to have recovered my mother's ship, even though, I admit, I had misgivings at first. After all, she did die at its helm. But when I reached it, I immediately felt a connection, and many memories came back to me. Happy memories of my childhood.
Tell me all about them.
Oh, I have so much to tell. I spent my very first years on this ship, you know? I climbed my first skylines here. I had small legs back then. It was difficult and painful. But when I got to the top, oh, what a view! I had the world at my feet, and I was so proud. Of course, my mother scolded me. I was too young and could have killed myself. But despite that, the feeling of touching the horizon, of being free as a bird, oh, it's something I'll never forget.
I won't bother you any longer.
Don't worry. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
I imagine that there are more urgent matters than visiting the man I spoke of, Father Cardinal Pius, who lives in Peren. That said, we need to go and meet him as soon as possible. I need to inform him of all that we have witnessed. Kernaz's rise in power, his unwarranted attacks against the islanders. He will know what to do to put an end to it, and will be a strong ally against the General. And he is also a close relation of the de Vespe family, who could finance the journey to Tir Fredie. He could certainly help us convince them if the support from Sybil proves insufficient.
Where can we meet this Father Cardinal?
He can be found most often in the Teleme Embassy in Peren. Is there anything else you would like to know?
You're saying that your Father Cardinal wants to put a stop to Kernaz's attacks on my people. But why would he even care?
Teleme is an enemy of the Alliance, as you know. And my nation does not find the conquest of your island by these people to be desirable. We have a different approach. It may not be perfect, I will readily admit. But we have no desire to remove your people from your homeland, nor to force them into slavery. Any information that would allow Teleme to put a stop to this conquest would benefit your people, believe me.
You seem to know the man well. Otherwise, why would you want to find him so badly?
Let's just say that he was an ally during my exile. Someone who didn't turn his back on me despite my banishment. He is a powerful and wise man. And after all we have seen, I must admit that I'm at my wit's end. But I know he'll know what to do. How to protect Thélème as well as the people of Teer Fradee from the Alliance.
You consider him something of a mentor, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yes, that is exactly right.
We'll go to Peren soon enough, and we will be sure to meet him then.
If you end up docking in the city, I'll meet you at the embassy.
Of course. The magic that you're using is different from ours. Do you think you could teach me to use it?
I admit that I never thought about it. Of course, there is special training required to wield the rings, but you need to possess the gift of the enlightened. And your faith is so different than our own. But who am I to question what the divine intends for you? Let's try. We'll see what happens. It's incredible. May the enlightened forgive me. But I would have never thought that a native not of our faith could be so gifted in our magic. Of course, you'll need to continue practicing in order to progress. But you have the gift. This much is true.
Thank you, Fausta. I must leave you.
See you later.
I know you already have a lot to do, but I would still like to ask a favor, if you could spare a moment. While I was studying in Alima, I had a friend, a very dear friend that I would like to find. It was someone very knowledgeable, a true bookworm, but he was also someone with human virtue. In addition to the joy I would feel to see him again, I believe having an ally within the Alliance could be useful to us. It's been a long time since we last met, and I don't know where to find him, but his cousin Baran could certainly tell us. He's a merchant who owns a warehouse in the port of Alima. If you agree, we could go and see him together.
It's not really the moment. We'll see what we can do later.
Of course. There's no hurry. Come back and see me at a more opportune moment.
Why did the Alliance invade Teer Fradee? You have your own country.
That's a good question. Although I'm not sure you'll like my answer. There are resources on your island that we don't have, or no longer have, because we've exhausted them, and that we need to prosper. Your people don't exploit the land as we do, and you have vast spaces that still seem wild. But we like to domesticate nature, to enslave it as much as possible in order to build, to expand, to dominate other peoples. Our country is slowly dying, even though you may not have realized it yet. So my people are looking for new lands, and with them, a new future in a way.
But they do it at the expense of my people. Tiefredi is not uninhabited.
It's true. But our technology is superior to yours, and my people are counting on that fact to get the better of you. Most of them think they're giving you a gift by doing so. They think they will bring you civilization. I'm sorry, I know that's not a pleasant answer to hear, but that's what most of them think.
What does your job consist of?
I draw up maps. That is to say that I reconstruct on paper the reality of the world. As much as possible, of course. I go to different places and take measurements. I indicate where the mountains and forests, the rivers and springs are. Cities, villages, and roads too. In short, everything that can be useful to travelers.
And to armies.
That's true. Although I prefer to think that I only help merchants, pilgrims, and explorers. Every coin has two sides, and my work is no exception to the rule.
What brought you to Yuxantis? Just the librarian's invitation?
That's already an excellent reason, you know. That man is a font of knowledge. Exchanging with him is a real opportunity. But you're right. It wasn't the only reason. Yuxantis is very little known to people on the mainland. Nauts guard their island jealously and rarely invite foreigners to their guild. They resemble us in many ways, especially since many youngsters of my own people have joined them. But they are also completely different. And their relationship to the sea and navigation is unique. Having the chance to discover their city, their culture, their way of life. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
I've seen you use rifles like the people in the Alliance. They are powerful weapons, and I'd like to know how to use them.
You young people are all the same. Always curious and eager to acquire new skills. I'll show you the fundamentals, so you could use them without hurting yourself. Well, what do you...
Bye.
See you.
Hello. I didn't know we had a merchant on board.
Not all ships do, but it seems that you have support among the admirals. Would you like to see what I have for sale? I sell a bit of everything.
Excellent timing. I was just thinking about you. I wanted to ask you something.
What is it?
I suppose you haven't forgotten our memorable encounter with my nephew Rudolph? It so happens that I've just received a message concerning him. It appears to have been written by a servant who accuses me of being responsible for the disappearance of his mistress, a merchant from the congregation. He says that she was lured to a meeting by my nephew and never came back. In the course of the various threats of torture and accusations he makes, it emerges that my nephew has also disappeared. I'm worried about him. We don't have a good relationship, but it's all my fault, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. I could take care of it myself, but I'm afraid I wouldn't be thinking clearly because it involves my family. Would you help me find my nephew and this woman?
Why do you and your nephew have such a strained relationship?
It's a very long story that I prefer not to think about. Look, I'll tell you if we manage to find Rudolph. I promise.
I'm sorry, but I've simply got too much to do right now. I'll come back and talk to you as soon as I can.
Thank you, but don't be too long. I'd regret it for the rest of my life if anything were to happen to him too.